Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to uncover the absolute biological journey of your food, tracking how everything you eat literally transforms into the building blocks of your life. We make choices every single day about what to put on our plates, but how often do we actually stop to think about what happens after that first bite? Well, today, we're diving straight into the incredible science of nutrition.
Here is the roadmap for our journey today. We'll start with Section 1, Classes of Food, move into Section 2, Importance of a Balanced Diet, then explore Section 3, Human Digestive System, and wrap it all up with Section 4, Absorption and Defecation.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Classes of Food. Meet the cast of characters.
So absolutely everything you consume falls into 7 distinct classes of food, and each one has a highly specific job. We've got carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. Now, none of these act in isolation. They all work together as a synchronized master team to keep your biological engine running smoothly, from providing raw energy to carefully regulating your cellular processes.
Take carbohydrates, for example. Foods like bananas or other sweet fruits act as your body's absolute favorite source of rapid, accessible fuel. Carbs are basically organic compounds made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. When you need energy right this second, simple carbohydrates like sugar deliver it instantly, while complex ones, like starch, act more like a long-term storage tank. Moving on, we have our vital protein sources. Think chicken, fish, meat, and eggs. These are the fundamental biological building blocks of your entire body. When you digest protein, it gets broken down into its basic units, called amino acids. Your body then brilliantly repurposes those amino acids to synthesize enzymes, repair damaged tissues, and physically grow. I mean, without them, replacing dead skin cells would literally be impossible. Now, vitamins are fascinating because they don't actually supply energy, but they are absolutely essential. It is wild how just a microscopic lack of specific vitamins can lead to drastic systemic health failures. Skip vitamin C from fruits, and you're looking at scurvy and bleeding gums. Miss out on vitamin B, and you risk anemia or a terrible nervous system disorder called beriberi. Missing vitamin D can even lead to rickets, where your bones soften. They're just tiny organic compounds, but man, they pack a punch. But how do we actually know these invisible nutrients exist in our food? Well, scientists use precise, step-by-step chemical lab procedures to force the nutrients to reveal themselves. You can use an iodine test to spot starch, or heat up Benedict's solution in a water bath to detect glucose. For protein, we use Millen's reagent, and to hunt down fats, scientists use the alcohol emulsion test. These are the foundational tools nutritionists use to literally map out what we're eating.
Let's move straight into Section 2, Importance of a Balanced Diet, the Blueprint.
So, the Millennium Food Pyramid acts as our daily dietary blueprint. It urges us to build a solid base by eating adequately from carbohydrates like rice and cereals, then eating plenty of vegetables and fruits on the second level. As we move up, we eat moderately from the protein level, and right at the top, it tells us to keep fats, oils, and sugars to an absolute minimum to avoid chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure. But here's the catch. Balance isn't actually identical for everyone. Your environment and lifestyle totally change how your internal engine burns calories. For example, a person working a physically demanding job or someone recovering from an illness requires very different energy levels. Men often need more calories than women just due to natural differences in muscle mass. And if you live in a freezing climate, you lose body heat so quickly that you literally have to eat more food just to maintain your baseline temperature compared to someone living in the tropics. Similarly, a rapidly growing teenager or someone with a larger body frame requires a heavily customized caloric intake. Teens are highly active and growing fast, demanding way more carbohydrates and proteins than a typical adult. And naturally, someone with a larger body expends more energy just to move around. To figure out if your body size is healthy for your height, nutritionists use the Body Mass Index, or BMI. Customizing your calories based on these factors is exactly how we manage obesity risks and maintain our long-term health. All right, Section 3, Human Digestive System. Welcome to the factory. Let's step onto the factory floor. Digestion is the entire process of breaking down massive, complex foods into tiny, simple molecules your cells can actually absorb. But it's vital to understand there are 2 distinct phases here. Physical digestion is the mechanical crushing, mashing, and tearing by your teeth. Chemical digestion, though, uses specialized biological agents called enzymes to chemically snap those complex molecules apart.
And the sheer scale of the digestive tract is mind-blowing. It is an incredibly complex, 9-meter-long tube neatly folded and packed right inside your abdomen. It starts at the mouth, loops through your internal organs, and finally ends at the anus, basically acting as one continuous, hyper-specialized processing conveyor belt.
Let's trace your lunch's physical journey. In the mouth, your teeth chew the food while saliva rolls it into a little ball called a bolus. From there, it travels down the esophagus using rhythmic wave-like muscular contractions called peristalsis. Next, it drops straight into the stomach, taking an extreme acid bath in hydrochloric acid to kill bacteria and mix into a semi-liquid called chyme. Finally, it enters the duodenum, where the liver secretes bile to break down those stubborn fats into smaller, manageable droplets.
Meanwhile, the chemical digestion is happening at the exact same time. Think of these enzymes as highly specialized microscopic factory workers. Amylase, which is found in your saliva and pancreas, purely handles the carbohydrates, converting starch into maltose. Protease relentlessly dismantles proteins into amino acids, and lipase, secreted by the pancreas, exclusively tackles the fats, turning them into fatty acids and glycerol. They are incredibly precise.
And finally, Section 4, Absorption and Defecation, the distribution and the exit. Once everything is broken down, it travels through the small intestine, which relies on these amazing finger-like folds called villi. These villi exist purely to create a massive surface area for maximum absorption. Their walls are incredibly thin, literally only one single cell thick. This allows those simple digested nutrients to rapidly diffuse straight across the barrier and directly into the rushing bloodstream waiting in a dense network of capillaries right underneath.
Once absorbed into the blood, the beautiful assimilation process begins. The bloodstream acts as a high-speed delivery service to every cell in your body. It seamlessly turns your breakfast glucose into kinetic energy so you can move, uses amino acids to stitch together fresh tissue and repair damage, and recombines those fatty acids into protective thermal insulation around your vital organs.
But that naturally leads us to ask, what exactly happens to the tough, indigestible roughage, like the cellulose in vegetables, that our factory's enzymes simply couldn't break down? I mean, it doesn't just disappear, right?
Well, as those final leftovers enter the large intestine, digestion is totally finished. Instead, crucial water, alongside any remaining minerals and vitamins, is aggressively reabsorbed back into the body. This effectively turns the remaining unusable waste into solid feces, which is briefly stored in the rectum before exiting the factory completely through the anus.
And this is why your initial diet matters right down to the very end. A daily diet high in roughage or fiber, paired with plenty of water, ensures strong, smooth, muscular peristalsis. This entirely prevents the agonizing and sometimes dangerous misery of constipation, which can lead to serious issues like hemorrhoids. Honestly, fiber is the unsung hero that keeps the factory floor perfectly clean. This idea really perfectly summarizes our journey today. Meticulously managing this biological factory and understanding exactly what goes into it is the absolute key to a thriving life. Whether you're avoiding too much sugar to dodge diabetes or ensuring you get enough protein for tissue repair, balance is everything. Because ultimately, every single cell in your body, your muscles, your skin, your nerves, is built directly from what you ate yesterday. So I'll leave you with this. Knowing what you know now about this incredible biological machine, are you giving your factory the premium materials it needs to build a stronger you tomorrow? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and we will see you next time.